Hello, my name is Camille Stewart Gloster, and I am the CEO of CAS Strategies, an emerging technology and cybersecurity firm in the United States. I had the honor of serving as the first Deputy National Cyber Director focused on technology and ecosystem security at the White House under President Biden and Vice President Harris. In that role, I was tasked to focus on emerging technologies like AI and quantum and the convergence of those, supply chain security, privacy, human rights and technology, cyber workforce. The portfolio was very future resilience focused. We painted an affirmative vision for what we want a future digital ecosystem to look like. It would be values aligned and something we all can share in, be secure, defensible, resilient, and equitable. And if we are to achieve that desired end, how do we look at the technologies that we have today and the lessons we have learned from the innovations of the past and apply that to what is coming down the pipeline and to the functions and enabling capabilities that allow for technological innovation and the technology that is working for us in these times. And so through that lens and my experience in industry and academia, I think about how we can make sure that AI innovation is working for us. And we're doing a lot of that work. You've seen secure by design, privacy by design, product inclusion with its focus on how to make sure people are seen in technological innovation, take hold as companies and governments promote aligning values early in the life cycle of a technological innovation. Those frameworks incorporate our values from the very beginning by thinking about the risks ahead and trying to mitigate those risks so that we can realize the full opportunity and benefit of technology. What I'm excited to see is that as AI innovation, and particularly the public awareness of and industry investment in generative AI moves forward, we are having the right conversations to start to build out governance structures that serve our collective and shared goals, to think about interoperability and how we build out a trustworthy AI capability that contemplates security, safety, privacy up front, mitigates bias, protects us from harms like human rights violations. So we are thinking critically about those things, and that's an exciting and important evolution of our shared investment in leveraging the tool and capability that is technology, because technology is an amplification mechanism. It will amplify the best and worst of what we bring to it. And so taking the time to mitigate the potential harms and the risks and threats associated with technology is our shared duty. What I have seen, though, is that we seek to make as much change as possible in a short time, whether that is incremental or large scale. But to truly have sustained impact and to be able to evolve with the changing technological dynamics and to meet the moment on cultivating a global AI innovation ethos and ecosystem that aligns to our values and that meets the goals and demands that we have as a global society, we must make a couple long-term investments that will take a lot of resources, a lot of time, but are so worth it, because the way that they underpin and accelerate our goals means that they must be made a priority. But sometimes long-term investments fall on the back burner, or we make very small changes rather than the whole-scale investments that are necessary to truly make meaningful change in that area. And two areas stand to mind or come to mind. Education. We need to revamp and retool our education systems to meet the moment. There are a lot of technology jobs, left unfilled. And as innovation continues to grow, there will only be more need for those that are technologically savvy and can fill open roles that facilitate technology being of service to each of us. But in addition to that, there are a set of skills that we all must have to move through a technologically enabled world. And reading, writing, arithmetic have tended to be the hallmarks of an education system, but we now need to add a set of cyber skills and use technology to communicate some of the skills that we need to be able to navigate. And I don't just mean being able to turn it off and on, but I mean understanding the choices that you're making, being able to adapt to a new technology and capability. That will be essential as we seek to have a citizenry that can demand of governments what they want to see from a regulatory environment and from the guardrails and boundaries that they put up through governance frameworks, but also as they demand from companies what they want to see in terms of innovations and risk mitigations. And so it will fuel innovation, it will spur economic opportunity, it will embed the values we want to see in our technology by empowering and enable each individual to be a meaningful part of the discourse. So we must invest in education and revamping our education system, and that is a shared challenge. There is no nation that does not need to make that investment. And then the second is really thinking about a global investment infrastructure. There has been a lot of conversation about it being a fund and access to compute and compute credits and making sure that the infrastructure is there. But it is not one of those things, it is all of those things. And whatever this global investment infrastructure turns out to be will require us to have financial investment from companies, governments alike, but also intellectual investments and infrastructure investments that allow for AI innovation hubs to develop across the world, in regions and in countries, aligned to industries that are already thriving, most likely, but attuned to the cultural and societal and geopolitical dynamics of that country or region. And if we enable that, whether it's the model proposed by the UN or any of the others, that will unlock a number of opportunities. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of conversations happening in a number of multilateral bodies that are thinking through how we spur that investment in infrastructure and the finances to do this work. But there's no one model that will work. There's no one body that is going to have all of the answers. And so continued investment in thinking about new models and new infrastructure investments that allow for this unlocking is going to be integral, because it enables better governance. Countries and regions that understand firsthand how governance structures and guardrails and policy will impact an innovation ecosystem in their locality are going to be able to step into a conversation with authority about how to advocate for their industry and also their people. It promotes economic opportunity for the citizens of that nation, and it promotes better security, privacy, and safety, which we all want at an individual, community, national, and international level. Access to compute, especially shared access to compute, may also be a key or a tool in balancing our sustainability goals. We sit at a paradox where our aspirations for AI innovation run antithetical to our desire to be sustainable and to think about the impacts of our consumption. And so really investing in education and this global investment infrastructure so that there are innovation hubs and innovation ecosystems and markets in locales around the world serves our collective goals and is worth investing in. So as we continue to ideate on how to unlock the power and potential of artificial intelligence, on how to mitigate harms and minimize risk, we must also think about how we incorporate those goals into investments in education and a shared infrastructure to support AI innovation at scale.